For those of you that caught the Indie Horror Showcase earlier this week, I know you guys are just as excited as I am for some of these games to finally hit the shelves. Some of these games, however, are already released and ready for you to feast your controllers on to end your spooky season off just right. I've got all the games here just for you guys, and there are so many games for everyone to enjoy. Let's get spooky. First up, we have Murky Divers. The game was actually released on PC Early Access earlier this year, so this little underwater treat is available right now on Steam. In Murky Divers, dive up with a team of up to 8 to the bottom of the ocean. Your mission? Remove all corpses from Pharmacorp's abandoned labs. Erase any evidence of their failed experiments. Use your caddy to extract dead bodies from the wrecks that used to be labs. But be careful. There are things lurking and oxygen might run out quicker than you'd expect. There are numerous abandoned labs spread across the ocean floor. Coordinate with your team to pilot the submarine towards them. Then spend your extra hard-earned credits to buy items and modules to better your chances for the next expedition. This game, even being in early access, has some very positive reviews. Tense underwater scenarios, especially navigating your submarine, and beautifully eerie nostalgic graphics. A super plus, the game is also controller compatible, so you can use your Xbox or PlayStation controller. Next up, we have a beautifully drawn, psychologically driven visual novel game called Slay the Princess. You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world. She will do everything in her power to stop you. She'll charm and she'll lie, and she'll promise you the world, and if you let her, she'll kill you a dozen times over. You can't let that happen. Don't forget, the fate of the world rests on your shoulders. The pristine cut edition of Slay the Princess is the definitive release of the beloved title and brings a host of brand new content to this psychological visual novel. This game has some overwhelmingly positive reviews, calling it a literal work of art with a spooky side. Choices do matter in this game and brings you super in-depth to the characters of the story just because of that. If you would like to check this game out, it was released on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, as well as Nintendo Switch and PC. A little something for all the consoles. Third up, we have Dark Hours, a co-op survival heist game. Just when you think you've pulled off the perfect heist, your break-in is suddenly interrupted by an unexpected supernatural event. You find yourself trapped in the auction house you came to rob, and you realize with horror that you're no longer alone. A demonic creature has taken over the place, and you have become its new prey. Will you manage to escape? Will you survive this apocalyptic night? Forget your plan. Your mission is to survive. Explore and cooperate to find a way out, or hide and wish for daylight. Dark Hours has some very positive reviews. From its super spooky moments to online multiplayer, it's got what people are looking for when it comes to a good balance to play with friends. This game is still on PC Early Access. If you would like to try it out before you buy, Steam has a demo for the game. Dark Hours is also Xbox controller compatible. Fourth up, we have an interesting spooky hidden object game that goes by the name Paragnosia. They have haunted you for so long now. You observe every corner of your apartment by moving your camera along a rail that runs through the rooms. Tonight, they want to strike, but you're no longer helpless. You have the tools to banish them for good. Find and take pictures of your paranormal anomalies to exorcise them. Expect them to manifest everywhere. Locked in your surveillance room, will you survive tonight's 8 rounds? Paragnosia has some absolutely positive reviews, raving about the real idea and how unique and fun it truly makes the game. Not to mention, some of the anomalies had some really cool surprises in store for you. This game is available on Steam and super cheap, and you'll be glad you made the purchase. Next up, we have a game that will keep you on the edge of your seat, give you the chills, and will make you think long and hard about the choices you make. Home Safety Hotline is an analog horror-inspired telephone operator simulator where you answer incoming callers' questions about what's inside their home. Read through a vast catalog of common pests and household hazards, and do your best to become an expert in home safety. You will be held responsible for what happens. Home Safety Hotline has some very positive reviews, calling it super creepy and really grabs your attention, especially when you get extremely strange calls from the townspeople. This game was released on PC at the beginning of the year and finally released on console, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S at the end of this last month. In Empty Shell, players take on the role of volunteers who have signed up for a mysterious recovery operation without knowing the full details. With a top-down perspective, the game challenges players to navigate this ominous setting, facing horrifying encounters and employing survival tactics while uncovering the secrets of the facility. It offers a thrilling and suspenseful experience in a survival horror context. Empty Shell has some very positive reviews. It's super immersive, and the aesthetics and themes are amazing. The gameplay just adds to the already amazing atmosphere of this game. It's challenging, but it's worth the play. Empty Shell released on some consoles, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch earlier this year. It finally released on PC during this spooky month. Seventh on the list is a sci-fi horror that will make you feel uneasy and super immersed all at the same time. A game called Clickolding. The man in the corner of your hotel room wants you to click something. He wants you to watch you click it. Clickolding is a dark, incremental narrative game about thumbing a tally counter to satisfy this distressing masked man sitting in the corner of your hotel room. If you leave, you don't get the money, and you can't come back. If you stay, you won't be the same either, and neither will he. Clickolding has some very positive reviews, an extremely interesting game that keeps you guessing while making you feel super weird. It's a game that will stick with you. It's super cheap, worth the buy, and is available on Steam. Next up, we have a game that will literally put you in the shoes of a kidnapper and ritualistic murderer, but you have to do it. A game called Life Eater. You play as a modern-day druid residing in suburbia, working a dead-end job to fund your true calling, conducting the annual ritual that prevents the apocalypse. Each year, to stave off the world's end, you must sacrifice a number of specific yet vaguely described human beings. The game features a video editing inspired interface that lets you unravel the stories of your victims' lives, one schedule block at a time. Delve into the intimate details of your target's daily routines, and when the moment is right, abduct them before the authorities can trace you back to your lair. Time is of the essence, and your list of names is long. Make your choices carefully and hope that the dark deity you worship actually exists. Life Eater has very positive reviews. Fantastic gameplay, unique art style, and fun puzzles. It's an awesome game to play, even if the story mode isn't super long. Life Eater released earlier this year on PC for those of you who would love to check it out. Bringing us to number 9, a fast-paced hidden object arena shooter called Devilated. Enter Devilated, the bastard child of an old-school shooter and action RPG, after snorting a line of raw, uncut hyperviolence. Shoot, explode, slice, and strike your way through the mysterious labyrinth overflowing with bloodthirsty monsters, out to tear you apart. Unleash your style and savagery with a combo meter keeping score. Use the bodies of your foes as shields, then devour them for health. Slow down time to land every shot or to simply appreciate the gory poetry in motion. And equip a wide arsenal of everything from blades to rocket launchers to let the world know that subtlety is dead and you're wearing its face for a mask. Devilated has very positive reviews. It's a throwback without being too much of a throwback, and some are saying it's as good as Ultra Kill with a hint of Doom Eternal. This game was released on PC Early Access. It is Xbox and PlayStation controller compatible. If you would like to try out before you buy, you can check out their demo right now on Steam. Coming up on number 10, a cute and cuddly cyberpunk hack and slash that goes by the name Gori, Cuddly, Carnage. Humanity has been destroyed, and it's up to Gori, along with his deadly but wisecracking sentient hoverboard, Frank, and morose AI companion, CH1P, to slay the evil, adorable army with lethal combos. Master explosive weaponry and devastating combos in an epic battle to prevent the adorable army from conquering the galaxy. And rescue Professor Y, their missing creator and only human who showed Gori and his friends love. Push your combat and platforming skills to the limit as you fight your way through twisted landscapes filled with environmental hazards, razor-sharp adult humor, and bone-crunching, pulse-pounding soundtrack. This game has some overwhelmingly positive reviews. It's gory, fast-paced, and all the hack-and-slash style combat you can literally ask for. It's got super simplified mechanics, which makes it super easy to play, and its humor matches the scenery. Gori, Cuddly, Carnage released on all consoles, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Xbox Series S and X, and Nintendo Switch, as well as PC earlier this year. If you would like to try before you buy, they have a demo available for you on Steam. Another game that was released earlier this year is a dark fantasy Souls-like game that goes by the name Deathbound. The forbidden city of Akratia is an unforgiving land that cannot be conquered alone. Bind with fallen warriors found throughout your crusade and dynamically transform between the characters seamlessly mid-combat with a unique 4-hero party system. The Fallen are individual characters with their own unique skill sets, combat styles, and rich history. By absorbing their essence, you inherit the fiber of their very being. The characters' conflicts and synergies greatly impact gameplay, so relationships must be balanced. Strong synergies may offer combat buffs that can spell disaster for the ruthless boss awaiting your steel and magic. Throughout combat, you will charge a sync meter shared across all characters. During an opportune moment, dispel your sync meter and unleash a devastating morph strike using the combined power of the bound fallen warriors. Deathbound has mostly positive reviews, raving about its smooth character change during combat and its interesting and refreshing take on the Souls-like formula. Some parts can be a bit repetitive, but the overall gameplay is super immersive. If you would like to check this game out, you can find it on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Next up, number 12, a fun 3D action-packed shooter called Coven. This game is a fast-paced retro first-person shooter where you take on the role of a young girl in an alternative timeline during the 1600s who is wrongly accused of witchcraft and burned at the stake. She's resurrected by an unknown force and seeks revenge. Her path of vengeance will take her across time and space. Utilize an explosive mix of early modern period weaponry and magic, where your movement is key. You dash, slide, and slow down time in order to survive. Eat the flesh of the newly deceased to gain health, so you can continue your ultimate path of rigorous vengeance. This game has some positive reviews. It's really well designed and allows for a lot of freedom when tackling combat. Casting spells is another cool aspect of this game. Depending on your charge level, depends on what kind of spell actually gets cast. Coven just released this month on PC Early Access. If you would like to try it out, Steam also has a demo waiting just for you. This psychological horror is sure to give you the spooks and goes by the name Dark and Deep. A conspiracy podcast drags you into a hauntingly illustrated world of mystery and terror. Reveal secrets and horrors with mystical frames given to you by a strange observer. Dark and Deep is a first-person cosmic horror game with a focus on puzzles and exploration. You play as Samuel Judge, a loyal fan of the mysterious podcast that ends up plunging you into a shadowy and dangerous world that you must survive. Solve physics-like puzzles using powerful ancient machines or cryptic origin. Manipulate gravity, clear paths through deadly fogs. But beware, the creatures in the shadows want nothing more than to steal your light. Dark and Deep released earlier this year on PC, and if you would like to check it out, Steam has a demo just for you. The second to last game, a game that will give you the ability to be an actual fly who's hungry. And you guessed it, hungry fly. Once upon a time in a swampland dreary, a fly awakened, weak and weary. Possessed of hunger, it set out on a search to find a morsel, a corpse to stop starvation. But there was no death to be found in the swamp, only tormented life. It journeyed on, meeting strange creatures living in the swamp, ever sadder and more tortured until, by chance, it happened on something delicious. You are the fly. Play as the dirty, filthy, corpse-eating fly on a mission to devour a monster living in a bath in a house far away. This game does have some positive reviews. It's unhinged and has most people asking others to stop reading reviews and go into it as blind as possible. You won't regret it. The Hungry Fly is released on PC and is Xbox controller compatible. As a side warning, if you are sensitive to self-harm or arachnophobia, this game is definitely not for you. There's a killer with a keen eye and a thirst for blood stalking this city, and a hard-boiled detective losing his sanity trying to catch him. In Sniper Killer, you take on the role of both Detective Camaraderie and the cryptic Sniper Killer, as the story unravels after each victim has their brains splattered across the ground by a well-placed shot. From the scummy streets of the city to the state carnival, no location is safe from the sniper's watchful eye. How does he choose his victims? Does he have a motive for these seemingly random acts of atrocities? Sniper Killer has some very positive reviews. With the 80s serial killer vibes on top of super cheesy story and bad line reads, it actually makes this game even more enjoyable. It's a short story, but the spooky atmosphere and the alternating perspectives make this game super interesting. If you would like to check it out, it was released on PC earlier this month. And if you would like to try it out before you buy, Steam has a demo just for you. These games look absolutely fantastic, and some of them are super fun to play and some super tense, especially now that we are at the peak of our spooky season. Again, all of these games are available right now for you guys to play, and let me know in the comments which ones are your favorites. Happy spooky season. Don't forget to like and subscribe.